Morning Drive.
Oh my gosh, this is incredible.
I'm cool. Hey, you kids, let's get down. Get funky.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Love listening to you on my way into work, and
All right, we get the point. We're more worried about breakfast right now, okay?
fans are delirious.
Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Get it all over yourself, boys and girls. Here you go.
Now, the Morning Drive with Mike Bagley and Pete Pistone.
Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 live and on the air for this Thursday morning, February 2nd, 2023. Mike Bagley here in Del Marvelous Studio 1D. We've got Pistol Pete Pistone in the Paisan Palace in Chicago. We've got Sammy and Davey in Studio 134, the Beltway Bureau in our nation's capital. We welcome each and every one of you to this Friday Eve, and happy Groundhog's Day 2023 to you, Triple P.
Good morning, Bagman. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday Eve to one and all you groundhogs out there who are listening. Welcome into the Morning Drive, where, again, depending on what groundhog you go by, the one up in Pennsylvania, we've got one here in Lincoln Park at the zoo. We're going to find out today if we have 6 more weeks of winter or not. I'm going to guess we do. I'm going to guess we do.
I just shake my head. I just shake my head.
It's a ceremonial tradition of fun and frivolity. That's how I look at it.
No,
it's not scientific. It's just whatever. It's fun. I mean,
but you
it's
put
fun.
more credence in that than you do a human that has access to science.
That's what I was going to say.
Well, again, sometimes the science fails us. What can I tell you, Bagman? I don't know.
And these rodentias don't.
Well, the point that you make every year about this is that if the television lights are around the groundhog,
and they are,
you're
how can you not see your shadow?
You're going to see your shadow. Yes, I agree.
Oh, but. So they had someone on here from the news, on the news from this thing today, wherever they do this, something hollow.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. What's that called? I've seen the movie 1,000 times. But yeah, go ahead.
I almost said Butcher's Hollow, but that's in the Coal Miner's Daughter. Whatever. Gobbler's Knob.
Gobbler's Knob. Gobbler's Knob.
Yes. Whatever it is.
That is correct. That is correct.
So
yes,
they had one of the guys on that wears the top hat. Mm-hmm. And this is just so ridiculous. So they don't know if the groundhog has seen his shadow or not. They are going off of his body language and certain things, the ways his eyes dart and things. You have to analyze the behavior of this animal and then try to conclude if you think the animal saw his shadow or not. They shot a lot of holes in this groundhog thing on the news last night, where there is a human element of basically a judgment call made to determine if this varmint has seen its shadow.
IBM presents You Make the Call.
Well, you judge the body language and the behavior, not unlike when the check comes at the end of the meal and put that down in the middle of the table. I have to go to the restroom. I'll be right back. That kind of a
And
deal.
listen,
I don't know.
with some of the people that we dine with, the arms are as long as a groundhog's arms. I'm telling you.
Sure. So really, for me, it became more of a deal because of the movie. Because the movie with Bill Murray, when it came out, I want to say 1990, something like that.
30 years ago is the anniversary today.
Okay. So I remember when it came out, and it was a bigger deal here because they shot it in Woodstock, Illinois, which is not that far from where we are up here in the northwest suburbs. So when you see, spoiler alert, when you see the groundhog and everything in the movie that looks like it's supposed to be Puxatawny Phil and all that, at Gobbler's Knob, it's actually Woodstock, Illinois. So it became a big deal. And a guy that we've kind of been friends with, David Pasquesi, is an actor. He was in it. So it became sort of a deal. And I don't know. I think it's interesting that when you say Groundhog Day, right, people think what you're talking about today, but it's more about something repeating itself over and over and over again, which was the basis of the movie. So that's all. It's whatever. I might watch the movie tonight. That's kind of how I do it. Like when I watch Draft Day, that movie with Kevin Costner, the night before the NFL draft. Sometimes I watch Groundhog Day on Groundhog Day. Every Groundhog Day.
Vontae Mack. Are you going to watch 80 for Brady on Super Bowl Sunday too? Then, Pete.
Well, who knew that 80 for Brady meant how many times he was going to retire?
Trotta didn't.
Wow.
He's got 78 to go. Look at him go.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of
It
you
is
know what's funny?
Groundhog's Day. Honestly,
watch
for him.
Right, it is exactly Groundhog's Day for Brady. Yeah.
What do you watch? You watch all these movies to prepare yourself for whatever it is. What do you watch before the baseball season starts?
For baseball season, Bull Durham every time.
Oh.
Bull Durham is right there. My favorite movie. Major League is right behind that one. Then it's Field of Dreams. Then it's The Natural with Robert Redford. So to answer your question, I got 4 of them, Bagman.
No Rookie of the Year?
Yeah. No
sometimes-
Sandlot, the
Run
Colossus
amok.
of Clout.
I don't have time for 5 movies before opening day. I did last year because it was a lockout. Had a lot more time, but yeah, that's my go-to baseball movie. My go-to NASCAR movie, I don't really have one. Sorry. I know all of you out there are going to give the finger to the radio when I say this, but I'm not a fan of Days of Thunder. Sorry. How dare you? Talladega Nights? Nah. How about Speedway with Elvis? That was a good one. Did you ever see that one, Baggy? Speedway? Mm-hmm. 60...
Yeah, when Dad was alive and we were forced to watch it.
We were forced to watch it. Yeah, it's the movie that started it all. Who knew it? Elvis. Speedway. Speedway.
Thank you, Jamie. Speaking of speedways,
Yes.
so we obviously are back at it this weekend, and this week has been very busy. It's about like planning stuff and making preparations for things. So I happened to go on. I was looking for something. I ended up on NASCAR.com yesterday, and this is for all of you out there who say you don't know when things are happening. You don't know where it is and all this. There's a tremendous resource, and I tweeted this out earlier this morning from NASCAR.com to where it gives you the race weekend information. It gives you what we are carrying on SiriusXM. It gives what we're carrying on MRN, and it also tells you the television network and the time that all that's happening. And it also allows the opportunity to add it to your calendar. So you get it in your phones with the reminders and all that stuff. So if you've not done that, do that. You can do it for all 3 series. The ARCA one's not ready yet, but that's coming up too. But for those that have a challenge knowing what we're doing, when we're doing it, and where we're doing it, as far as like what TV network, NASCAR.com's got you covered. I was looking at this weekend's festivities. They've broken it down by heat. Right? Yes, Pete, I have the same thing you have. I have the paper planner, but I also need the electronic planner as well.
It's old school.
I need both of them.
I get that thing and I write it down every January. Where we're going, where we're racing, who's racing where, time, and all. That's great, though. If you can put it in your calendar like that, you're good to go. Good.
See, this is my version of the calendar where the highlighted yellows are the pre-races, but no race, and then the green is the races I'm going to, and we got. I mean, I got it all in here. Orange is IndyCar, and you got IMSA. I mean, I got this calendar's loaded. But anyway, NASCAR.com. If you don't have the paper planner, NASCAR.com gives you the opportunity to download a calendar of theirs into your calendar to remind you when the races are and all that stuff. There's a lot of good resources over there. I was doing a little poking around first thing this morning. Saw a little this, saw a little that. It's pretty cool, actually. Get in there, NASCAR.com.
That's great. Yeah, no, that's good. Good stuff. Writing things down, getting ready to go, putting together some stuff for not this weekend, but in a couple weekends for me on the fantasy side and all that. So, yeah, a lot of planning. I was able to get to my dentist yesterday. I had 2 weeks in a row or 2 appointments in a row. I think Sammy was in the same boat, where the morning of the appointment, I got canceled. One was because they said they had a shortage of staff. Okay. And then one was because it was last Wednesday, actually, when we had, like, snow here. I'm like, well, wait a minute. It wasn't like a blizzard. It was like snow. Well, one of our technicians couldn't make it in, and okay. So yesterday the appointment was at 12:30. So the whole morning I got done here, and I had some other stuff to record. I'm waiting for the call to say, you know what, we're going to have to reschedule. But nope, got it done, in, cleaning, zip, out the door, good to go. So I got that out of the way. Now I need to get my physical. Because I had this back issue, and I was out on Monday, so I saw a doctor, but that doesn't really count as the physical, I was told. No. I got to go back in and get up on the rack and check the undercarriage and all that kind of a thing. So I got to get that on the calendar as well. Other than that, I think we're all caught up. The guy came and fixed the fireplace. Remember I told you guys our fireplace was going crazy, the gas, and I couldn't turn it off. He got that fixed. The woodpecker disappeared yesterday. I don't know where he went. Came back from the dentist. I'm like, where's the woodpecker? Michelle goes, I don't know. I'm not hearing anything, and he hasn't been around, so we'll see if he shows up today. So things sort of took care of themselves yesterday afternoon, which was kind of a nice turn of events around here.
With all that you have just listed in this last minute, it sounds like it is total, complete chaos over there.
It's not chaos. Always a lot going on. Always a lot going on. You know that. And then you throw in the whole not feeling well, and I mean, and you can obviously sympathize with me.
Write your volumes on this.
It doesn't happen very often to me, thank goodness. But I mean, especially get a cold or flu or whatever. But the back thing was just whatever. It was like, what is going on with this thing? And so I got to go, as I mentioned on Monday. They don't think it's a kidney stone, which is great, but I got to kind of figure out. It's still there, but it's not as much there because I think the medication's doing its thing. But I got to get to the bottom of it. So that's kind of where we are here. But socially, nothing. Now, next weekend, we've got a couple of things we're doing, including we're going to go and have our Super Bowl party, which we really haven't had full steam here in the last couple of years because of COVID. So we'll see who shows up at that here a week from Sunday. Yeah.
How many people are on the entry list?
Well, Shelley's putting out stage breaks later. We're going to know when those stage lengths happen. I would say probably. Now, again, this was like a combo platter of friends and family. So the family quotient is down because, the boys are at college and Mia's at school. So we don't have that crew. I would say, Mike, if everybody showed, probably 20, 25 people,
Really?
Yeah. Which is always weird. I know I'm not in this, we're all in the same boat. There's something about having people over at your house for a 5:30 Sunday kickoff. It's just weird. On most Sundays, people are getting ready to have dinner and, get ready for work the next day. But here we are, Sunday afternoon, 5:30 kickoff. We'll have a house full of people, pizzas and salads and all that kind of thing.
Whatever happened to that run that someone was trying to make where they wanted to make the day after the Super Bowl a holiday? I know that's why the NFL would love to play the Super Bowl on President's Weekend because there's that built-in holiday on that Monday. But
correct.
Did folks give up on that?
No, there'll be that person. I don't remember who it is. The petition will start circulating here if it already hasn't. It'll be back out there. It's interesting you say that, though, because I was reading something about it where just because of where the world is today, President's Day isn't as celebrated as Martin Luther King Day in January in terms of people getting days off, whether it be business, corporate, or even schools. My sister, Angela, is still teaching. Rose, the other teacher, is substituting. The schools aren't even off on President's Day around here this year. They were off on MLK Day. So I don't know. That's not as much of a baked in. I know. It's. I guess even Michelle's company, she only gets a finite number of days off, and they substituted Martin Luther King Day in January for President's Day with a floater. If you want to take it, you can take it. But listen, that's the day that it's right up there with people calling in sick with like the day after St. Patrick's Day or something like that, right? People
Final Four, the men's
tournament
basketball championship.
Which coincides with this year with St. Patrick's Day. And a lot of the bar owners are not happy about that because now two things that they usually have as separate days during the week that get a big crowd are going to be coinciding, so they sort of lose business, which is sort of get that as well, So, anyway.
Now, wait a minute. And I thought the Final Four was Richmond, Texas weekend for us, which is the end of March, beginning of April.
Final Four, yes, but opening weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Opening weekend.
Yeah, which again is big because that's that Thursday day, Friday day where people were supposed to be at school or work and they're
St. Patrick's Friday day too. Batman.
That's what I'm saying. So like if you own a bar, like St. Patrick's Day, you circle. That's going to be a big day because I know I'm going to get a lot of business that day. If you own a bar, you say opening weekend, Thursday, Friday of the NCAA tournament. A lot of people go to that. When they're the same day, you kind of lose business. So there's a couple.
I'll be in Atlanta that weekend for the truck race.
Yes. You'll be in Atlanta that weekend for the truck race, which will be the, sorry to bring this up, 3-year anniversary of when COVID hit and everything got shut down in Atlanta. Almost to the weekend. Is that weird? It's very strange.
Well, that was the weekend, basically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, almost like the actual day of the weekend. But, that's very strange. So that's all coming here right around the corner. So bottom line is we got to get this winter out of the way, and hopefully the groundhog will do his part today.
Please.
Or the possum. Larry Mack called them a possum yesterday. Possums eat a shadow? I don't know.
Coming up, bottom of the hour, headline check number 1, coming up at 8:50. We'll have the calendar for you later this morning. We'll visit with Matt Collig, the owner of Colleague Racing. He'll join us at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Going to have some interesting conversation between now and then at 866 Pit Lane, also on Twitter at SiriusXM NASCAR, hashtag TMD NASCAR. You're listening to The Morning Drive on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. Today's show brought to you by Boot Barn. Boot Barn, proud supporters of the West.